Sisson froze the moment the real question started.
How old are you?
21.
You're 21. So you're 60 years younger than Joe Biden.
That's right.
Right. It was blatantly obvious to everybody that Biden was done, especially after the debate.
During his appearance on Piers Uncensored, the TikTok star stuck to the usual leftist talking points, but luckily, Tyrus was also present and wouldn't let the nonsense slide.
It was also his decision. He could have stayed in the race and said, like, I'm the nominee. I got the votes. I won the primary. I'm going to get the delegates. I'm going to be the nominee.
That sounds great, but let's be honest. Nancy Pelosi walked in and said, we can do it.
The easy way or the hard way.
That's why today we're covering this eye-opening interview. So buckle up because you're in for a treat.
Well, joining me now is the former professional wrestler and Fox News contributor Tyrus and TikTok influencer Harry Sisson. Well, welcome to both of you. Harry, I want to start by playing a little clip of you last time you appeared on my show. Who do you think the two nominees will be in the end and who will win?
Yeah, it's going to be Joe Biden versus Donald Trump, and then Joe Biden's going to win. And Piers, I'd love to chat with you after the election.
You've made a few dollars, Harry, so why don't we have a little wager? $10,000 to a charity of your choice. I say Biden can't possibly win. You think he can?
I personally don't bet on politics. I'm happy to have another bet to do something with charity. We can do something, absolutely no problem.
But you wouldn't put your money where your mouth is on Biden, then?
I don't bet on politics.
Well, I saved you $10,000 there, Harry, with your refusal to accept the bet, obviously. Welcome to back to Uncensored. I mean, you were completely wrong. Not only did Biden not stay in the race, but he certainly won't be president again. So do you accept you were completely wrong?
Yeah, I think I was going based off of publicly available information. All of the information available was that Joe Biden was staying in. He consistently told reporters he was staying in. He said, I'm the guy. And then he huddled with advisors in Delaware, saw the data, said it wasn't looking good, and made the honorable decision to bow out.
This interview was just a day after Biden officially announced that he was dropping out of the race. And it's mind-boggling that Harry would still repeat the same type of propaganda, even though the house of cards had already crumbled. I mean, anyone paying attention could see that Biden wasn't the same man who entered office. The mental and physical decline was no longer subtle, it was glaring, which is the exact question Piers asked next. And let's just say the answer he got doesn't paint Harry in a good way.
But with respect, why would a young, dynamic guy like you, how old are you?
21.
You're 21, so you're 60 years younger than Joe Biden.
That's right.
Right, it was blatantly obvious to everybody that Biden was done, especially after the debate. Why would you continue to pretend that he wasn't?
Because I look at the record, I'm always of the view that achievements in policy matters more than like this talk we have in the media of, oh, Biden's this, oh, Biden's that. I've met the man as well. I've talked to him. He was fantastic. He was sharp. I had questions.
When was that?
That was in May.
He was sharp?
Yeah.
How sharp?
Very sharp. He answered my questions.
Around that time, he was falling off stages, he was face planting, he was tumbling
face planting. I mean,
tumbling down the steps of Air Force One, falling off bicycles. He was saying all sorts of gobbledygook in statements which the White House had to rewind. So how sharp was he?
I mean, he was great. I gave him questions he didn't have beforehand. He answered them in depth, and we had a conversation after the cameras were turned off.
It's always the conversations that these propagandists had with Biden after the cameras were off. And yes, Harry might fall into that category because once you follow the money, you'd see that he was paid by the Democrats for social media consulting last year. It sounds innocent enough until you realize it's a fancy way of saying that he's been pushing talking points straight from the party playbook. A quick search on Open Secrets also reveals he's been on the payroll since 2023. Piers turned to Tyrus next, and true to his brand, he dismantled Harry's arguments with nothing but straight facts.
Tyrus, Joe Biden is still fit to serve. I mean, the guy I watched last night doing this national address, I'm sorry, I felt it was really sad. It was elder abuse.
I think at this point, we're arguing about the wrong thing. Whether he's fit to serve or not fit to serve, history was made in the sense that the donors basically said no more money.
Right.
And they don't do that because they think, oh, the polling shows you're down this month. So the ugliness of this is that Joe Biden's legacy is going to be affected because of what happened. The policies and stuff that we're running historically didn't ever fit Joe, which people raise their eyebrows to. And then you're seeing all this cover up of how sharp he was, and that's a interesting word because it's used a lot. And I always find when different people all use the same word, it's a talking point. And that's the problem. We need to get away from talking points. I'm glad that he stepped down because I took no joy and criticizing speeches from somebody who was doing the best they could. And he probably has moments where he's brilliant, but that's the ugliness of aging.
Exactly. I mean, sure, we've got the benefit of hindsight now, but even looking back, it's clear Tyrus was onto something. Since Biden left office, a wave of information has come out that lines up almost perfectly with what he was saying. We got a book alleging that he had a small, tight-knit group making decisions in the president's name while he faded further into the background. On top of that, it was sadly revealed that the former president was diagnosed with cancer. When we look at the bigger picture, all the awkward moments and the lack of public appearances make a lot more sense.
You know, what I was struck by, Harry, last night was he kept talking about, the threat to democracy and the importance of honesty and integrity in public life and so on. But then he said this about passing the torch. Let's listen to this clip.
So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. It's the best way to unite our nation.
No, I'm sorry, Harry, that was just a blatant lie. He didn't decide it was time to pass the torch only the day before he quit. He was absolutely gung-ho, I'm going to be running, I'm going to be president, I'm going to win 4 more years, blah, 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 blah. Even in the speech last night, he said he thinks he still has it in him to do another term of office. But that's not what happened. What happened was the Democrat grandees, Barack Obama, the Clintons, Chuck Schumer, Hollywood stars like George Clooney penning op-ed pieces in newspapers and so on, they all collaborated with the donors, as Tyrus said, who yanked the money.
He is absolutely right. After the disastrous debate performance, the cat was out of the bag. It was obvious to everyone that Biden was far past his prime, and the fallout was immediate. Suddenly, even left-leaning media outlets started reporting that major Democrat donors were refusing to pour more money into the party unless Biden stepped aside. One example is Abigail Disney, heiress to the Disney family fortune. That kicked off a domino effect, and more Democrats began publicly urging Joe to drop out and make room for someone more capable of carrying the ticket. But Harry isn't one to acknowledge facts, and he tried to spin Biden's withdrawal as some sort of honorable decision.
I mean, I think it's a combination of things. I think that there was obviously concern among party elites, you might call them. I don't know if that's the word.
But well, there was a concern. There was a poll came out on Sunday morning saying he was 7 points down in Michigan.
Right.
As Frank Luntz said, one of the 3 crucial swing states. And at that point, bang, the rope was pulled, right?
But it's also it was also his decision. He could have stayed in the race and said, like, I'm the nominee. I got the votes. I won the primary. I'm going to get the delegates. I'm going to be the nominee. But he looked at the data and made the honorable decision, said, no, I'm not going to.
But is he that honorable to do it now? I mean,
it sounds great, but let's be honest. Nancy Pelosi walked in and said, we can do it.
The easy way or the hard way?
The hard way was Article 25.
That's really what it boils down to. The entire point of this video is to pull back the curtain and show how so many of these so-called influencers who rally behind a candidate or a political side, they aren't driven by principle, but rather a carefully constructed narrative, no matter how much damage it might cause to the country. Now, don't get me wrong, some are truly passionate about what they're doing, and they stick to their cause despite the heavy consequences. But Harry is definitely not one of them. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the story, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.